Welcome to the second edition of our YouTube series entitled Web Talks NI. My name is Gareth Stirling. I'm a Senior Web Development Recruitment Specialist with Corvus Recruitment. For those of you who don't know, Web Talks NI is a series we put together aimed to highlight the local web development community. Here we'll be interviewing local web development specialists, see what sort of training they undertook to secure the first job or advance their career, as well as highlighting local web development companies, see what sort of skills they struggle to find, as well as what sort of products they have in development. Today we're here with Darren McSorley. He is the lead developer and partner with a company called Reflex Studios. Darren is also a graduate of the IMD course with University of Ulster. I also graduated from that same course, but I'm sure you've realised Darren graduated a wee bit later than I did. So listen, thanks Darren, welcome for your time. To begin with, maybe you could tell us a wee bit about Reflex Studios.
Yeah, I'm a partner in Reflex Studios, and we're sort of web and websites, web apps, that sort of stuff that we build. It started off as Michael's my partner at the company. He started the company himself back about 2010, and then he was doing it freelance for about 2 years. And as he started building up a few clients, building up projects, we get busier, and then he asked me would I be interested in coming on full time. So yeah, I became a partner now about 5 years ago now, and we've just sort of grown from there. Like we moved into new offices last year, and we sort of went from strength to strength since undertaking that.
Excellent. So how did you first get into coding then, Darren?
Well, I had sort of fairly unconventional, bumpy route into coding. Like going through school, like I wasn't the best student going through school, but I always did well on computers. So computers something I played about with a lot in the evening times. And anyway, so my attitude was, as long as I'm good at computers, I'll get a job in the end. I never really thought of it too much. And then that sort of built up to me getting offered a place at computer science at Queen's.
Okay.
So I took that on first, thinking, so it was only a computer course that Queen's offered, so I thought it'd be grand. I say as long as it was computers. And it was a disaster to sum it up. It was my first introduction to computer programming, and I just didn't grasp it at all. Like I couldn't get my head around it. I was sitting in these lectures as they explained these concepts, and it was just over my head. So I think that was I couldn't get my head around it. So, but oddly enough, on that course, there was another module, multimedia design, which I did and I enjoyed, and actually did quite well out of. So I had this attitude of, well, if I just do multimedia design, then I don't have to code, and then I can just get away from all the sort of techie stuff, and I can just concentrate on design. And I thought to do that there. I say it was only a course that Queen's offered was computer science, but there was a multimedia design course at Jordanstown. It seemed to be a better range of courses. So then I transferred after the year. And then when I was studying interactive multimedia design at Jordanstown, there was kind of like a hybrid of design and coding modules. Now the coding modules were sort of web-based technologies like PHP or JavaScript. But as the sort of 4 years progressed, I actually found myself stronger at the coding ones than I was at the design things. So
Funny how that works out.
Yeah, so I only studied multimedia design to get away from code, but it turned out to put me on a path for code. And then after I graduated university, I just sent out my CV, put all the stuff I did down. I just kept getting shortlisted for developer roles, and then once I landed my first junior developer role, I sort of kicked on from there, and now I'm just a coder. I just grew from there, yeah.
Interesting. I can relate to that actually, because I did an HND before I did the IMD course, and there's a module in that called, well, totally dedicated to Java, and I was totally above my head. But when I moved to IMD, I thought I actually scored highest on the coding side of things, so I can relate to that. Yeah.
I think the web technologies like the PHP are just a wee bit easier for a first timer. I think it might have been, in hindsight, maybe more beneficial to me to have a wee bit of experience about programming before I studied computer science, and have a wee bit of background knowledge going into that, where it was my first concept of programming. It was Java, and it was probably a wee bit too much for me to take in at the time. But the thing is, weird thing is I actually use Java now day to day, and I'm grand with it, but it was just, in that my initial introduction, it was probably too much.
Yeah, I find languages like PHP, JavaScript give you a better understanding of the fundamentals as opposed to
well,
straight into the
not
heart.
So much, but I think more entry point. They're easier just to pick up with. With like Java, there's just a wee bit extra groundwork you have to think about going into them. Where web technologies, you can just pick up a role with it. The browser takes care of a lot of the stuff that you wouldn't really be sure of.
Okay. And how difficult did you find it securing your first job in software development?
I think I got my first job through perseverance.
Yeah.
When I was studying the 4-year course, by the 4th year I was just focused so much on graduation that I never thought what would happen post-graduation. Just set myself a target, just get graduated and I'll worry about the jobs, everything that will come afterwards. And I had this sort of naive thought of, if I had a degree, I'll get the job. So I say graduation comes, you have that sort of big day and you have the celebration, and then a few days go past and it started dancing, you have to start looking for a job now. So the university life's over. So I just put a CV, dropped it into a few recruitment agencies, and again, it's naivety. I think I just dropped it in and just waited for phone calls to come back.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought it would be in my sort of area of expertise, if you can call it that. My first job straight at university was just working with a bank. It was basically copy and pasting. I was a glorified copy and paster, just copy and pasting Word documents. And just every evening I was just constantly updating my CV, trying to build a portfolio, just emailing every company. And I was getting really frustrated about not getting any responses back. Now I see it from the other side. I know that those agencies get hit with about 10, 15 emails every night, and it's near impossible to write back to everybody. But I just kept sending out CVs, kept my eye out job boards, and then I started looking at events happening in Belfast. I noticed that back then it was like Refresh. I don't even know if it's still going, but they used to have these wee sort of web events in the black box. So I just started to get myself involved in events and find out about job opportunities. Eventually I landed at a junior developer role in February 2009, I think it was. Okay. And I suppose again, similar to my previous answer, after that I just never really looked back and just sort of kicked on from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Look, it's interesting because one of the things that we come across every day with candidates is that struggle to get that first job, and perseverance certainly is key. And as now you're on the other side of the desk as such, how would somebody with no commercial experience, with maybe either a degree or is even just done some self-study, how would they set themselves apart from other candidates?
See, the weird thing about me is I don't know if commercial experience is as important as probably what you feel it is back then. Because back then you're reapplying commercial experience and you think that's what's going to hold you back from getting that first job. But you could almost see commercial experience, not having commercial experience as an opportunity rather than something as a threat. Okay. And what I mean by that is that commercial projects can sometimes, you're limited in what you can do functionality-wise or scope-wise, or maybe the client has directed a project in a certain way that maybe didn't truly reflect your skill set. Where if you just build your own things and take an interest or a hobby and build a website or an app around that, it can really then showcase what you're capable of. Yeah. And you're going to an employer with samples of your work rather than going with, I could potentially do this. You're showing proof of what you're capable of doing. And even to relate back to myself a wee bit, for years I've been working as a web developer, and I always got asked about apps. And I always said, I don't do app development, but I'd love to learn. And I said that answer several times, and I just told myself one time, I'm just going to learn app development now. So just using like online courses, I taught myself app development. And then when I got asked that same question again, can you do app development? I said, yes. Can you show us? No, because I had learned, but then I never had to build anything with it. So then I started thinking, right, just building simple concepts, and like a hangman quiz is often a thing you do when you're learning language, and like checklists. And now one of the things I built was a quiz, just multiple choice. And I thought, if we themed this around something and stuck it in the App Store, at least then you could have a proof and you could show clients that here's some apps that we built. So we took that quiz, skimmed it up around Father's Head, it was just a TV show. Everybody has fond memories of it. Stick it on the App Store, see what happens, and then, at least I would say we could show something. Yeah. But then the next morning after we put it live, a couple of different blogs in Ireland picked it up, and then people started sending it to each other, and it became this big viral success. And we got asked to come on as Q101 radio in Newton Arts and talk about the app. So we did that. It was strange, like you're thinking, why am I sitting here? But yeah, we did the interview and we talked about the apps and stuff. And then coming out of that, every time we get asked, can you have you experience with apps? We could show them a few on our phone and we could tell the stories with it. And from that there, we were able to secure a few app contracts at work. And then we've delivered apps for a few different companies. But I think had we not went ahead and made that and published that, I don't know if we'd ever would have established ourselves as an app agency. I think we needed that first stepping stone. And I think that's what the Father's Head quiz gave us. It gave us that confidence to say that we can deliver this, and it gave proof that we're capable of delivering it.
So that's a good example, because obviously it showcases your technical skills, but also showcases your personality, not only as an individual, but as a business.
I think it's a way to stand out. Yeah. Because I know that when we get CVs and stuff, if you could point to an example. I mean, we're still talking about it now.
Yeah.
So it's a way of make yourself memorable and stand out.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good tip for anybody trying to get the first job. So on a slightly different note, what could you give somebody what would be your top 3 tips on how to succeed during an interview?
I think my first tip would be to be honest. And if I can just relate back to myself again, I always remember my first junior developer role, and in the interview, he was asking me questions, and I was answering them as best as I could, and I thought I was going okay. And he asked me a question about SQL security, how to hack into websites and things like that. And I never studied web security at all, and so I tried to sidestep the question, but he wasn't letting me away with it, so he repeated the question back to me, and I just knew I didn't know, and I just said, look, I don't know. And as I said, I don't know, just this awkward silence went across the room, and you hear the scratch of the pen as he writes something down, and I was like, oh God, I'm never going to hear from him again. And I walked out of it thinking that's it, and I was just walking away, and as I was walking away, I started thinking what I had to do next, go home, learn how SQL security, but just go home, and I was trying to think of different job opportunities, update my CV again, the 10th redraft, and then out of nowhere, my phone rings, and it was the agency ringing me back, offering me a chance to start on Monday. I was kind of shocked, I was taken back with it, but I'd say nothing, hey, I'll agree, I'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
I came in, got my legs on the desk, and just started working away, and he pulled me aside that evening and he showed me a bit about SQL security, and it wasn't a big topic. I learned it in about 15, 20 minutes, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But of course, I couldn't let sleeping dogs lie. And a couple of months later, we were on a night out and we were having a few drinks, and then I just said, here, when I did another question about SQL security, I said, I don't know, why did you still give me the job? And he said to me, told me you're honest. It was like he lied or tried to make something up, I would never have given you a job. But it's not that big of a topic, I can show you. And I'd rather have someone in front of me here that was honest than someone who was just going to lie. And that's something I still carry with myself today, because I don't do job interviews no more, but I do doing pitches and doing presentations, and if we get asked about topics I wasn't sure about, I'd just be honest and say that wouldn't be sure about it. And no one's ever marked me down. It's okay not to know something as long as you're willing to learn it.
Yeah. And
you come out at university sometimes thinking you need to know everything. The answer is there's a lot of things I don't know that I'm still learning to this day. And just be honest with me first step, and say you don't know, and it'll stand you better in the long term.
Yeah, that's definitely important, and something that we try to advise candidates on as well. As honesty is the best policy during an interview, and some candidates try to waffle around the subject or even try to answer a different question.
I think it's a sort of technical thing. When you start waffling, you expose you don't know what you're doing. So maybe it's easier in the long term just say
hold your hand up.
Because another tip I would have would be to be prepared. I don't know if this is just me being cruel, but I know when somebody puts through a CV desk and they've got some samples of their work, before they come in for the interview, I'll test the projects. I'll test it on mobile phones, test it on desktops, and I'll fill out a few of the forms, and I'll base my questions sometimes around that. So if I find something that's broken or something not working, ask them. And again, I don't know if that's just me being cruel or not, but I just kind of think from a front-end user perspective, I get really frustrated if the form didn't work, or I added something in my cart and it was gone, or mobile navigation doesn't work. So I always say, make sure that the stuff works. And if you give me samples of work that you're really proud of and I try to use it and it doesn't work, that'll be the first question I'll probably ask in an interview. And say, I don't know if that's just me being cruel or but making things work is always a sort of fundamental of mine.
Yeah.
And I suppose my final tip there would be relax, because I know that when it's your first job interview, you get really sort of worked yourself up a wee bit sometimes. Especially when you're just at university, every job interview is such a big deal, as you start to perceive it as a big deal. And if you just relax, because when you get yourself worked up, you start waffling and you maybe say things that you probably do yourself a bit of an injustice. But relax and be honest, and you'll get through it. The other thing I would add to that is it's very rare to get your first job, first job interview, first job. So if you don't get the first one, come back to them, ask them for feedback, because it could be something very minor, something very simple that you're not getting, and that'll point you in the right track, moving forward, and you'll be lucky the next time around.
Brilliant. Okay, so what would you recommend for candidates to do while they're searching for work?
Well, the first tip would be is to keep coding and keep building. Learning doesn't finish when you graduate. Learning, I'm still learning things. Learning is probably a lifelong thing in this industry. And so keep learning, and if that's using things like YouTube or Team Treehouse or Linda, they're all there if you want to do a video subscription service and keep learning things, keep building things. I mean, it'll do two things. The first thing it'll be like, you know, sharpening your skills, and it'll probably help improve your portfolio of work. And the other thing too would be that if a job opportunity does come along, you can hit the ground running, and you're not trying to get swing of things.
Okay.
And the other tips I would have would be to go and get involved and go to the events. Like, you know, Belfast has got a big digital community in there. I'm sure, you know, every city's the same, but I know in Belfast, you know, PHP Belfast, Belfast JS, Pi Belfast, you know, if whatever sector you want to get into, there's probably a community there for it. And go to those events and meet some of these other people who work in the industry. Like, it'll probably help you improve jobs, because you'll find out about what companies do what and what they're hiring and what they're looking for. So go to events, you'll learn the industry.
Yeah. I, even from somebody from a non-technical background, I have attended some of those events, and yeah, they're definitely worthwhile. A lot of it's above my head, but yeah.
But I think, they can maybe get started intimidating attending them just on your own or whatever, but they're quite small groups and they're quite friendly, and they're welcoming new people who want to come in, and they're very helpful to showcase things. It could also help you too in your own development. You know, if you run into a problem, you know, you might have contacts with people who've worked in the industry who probably help you out if you are stuck on something. You can. Darren's an active blogger, so we'll include the links below to his blog and of course the Reflex Studios website. So look, in summary, you don't need a degree to succeed in this industry. You don't even need commercial experience. You just need a will to succeed. You know, put together a portfolio of work. It will be just some ideas of your own, like Darren did, or mobile apps of something to showcase not only your technical skills but your personality as well, because both are important. Technical skills are important as well as team fit. So listen, for further tips on how to get into coding, I've actually written a recent blog, which again you can find at corvus.jobs, and we'll see you next month.